Another day of AC Transit service disruptions 4 days after the agency imposed a contract on its drivers. AC Transit saying that 190 drivers called in sick today, and this week more than 200 drivers have been calling in sick each day, while the agency and the drivers continue to point fingers at each other. KRON 4's Maureen Kelly reports.
There is no sick out. The union is at work.
It's dishonest for the union leadership to say that there's no sick out. There's 200 plus people who've been missing every day for the past 3 days. That's a sick out.
The union says the real reason that commuters are waiting longer at the bus stop is because AC Transit has changed drivers' schedules on short notice, which has some working new and unfamiliar routes without enough training, some driving a different route every day.
It's all about disrupting the lives of the members, trying to provoke a strike.
The routes have changed, but all the drivers know the routes because they've learned them and driven them before. All those drivers also had the ability to choose any route they wanted, but the union leaders kept them from making those selections, and that's why there's some complaints. If there's anybody who ought to be mad, it ought to be the drivers being mad at their own union leadership who prevented them from selecting the routes that they prefer.
This is not a sick out. We are calling it a push out.
No one's been pushed out. These drivers have chosen to have a sick out to protest the contract that was imposed upon them. AC Transit faces a $56 million budget deficit. The only people who haven't contributed are the union leaders and the union members. We need their help to keep this system solvent.
In Oakland, Maureen Kelly, KRON 4 News.
And KRON 4 spoke to some riders about how the contract dispute is impacting their commute.
You know, that those delays, it's been a little tough, having to wait for an hour or more, for a bus. But I'm hoping that they'll be able to resolve these drivers, and hope they'll get back to work and be able to resolve the problems that they're having.
I'm willing to go a week or however long in order, with longer wait periods, just in order to get this issue resolved. I'm willing to be a bit more patient, in order to achieve a greater good.
And the battle between AC Transit and the union escalated when the transit agency imposed a new contract on the workers back on June 30th. The agency says the new contract will save almost $16 million a year, but the union argues it was unfair to impose that contract, and they want negotiations to continue. KRON 4's Christine Connolly takes a look at what's in the contract and how it compares to other transit agencies in the Bay Area.
According to AC Transit, the new contract includes work rule changes like changes in overtime. Under the old contract, OT was earned after a day's work, 8 hours. Under the new contract, OT starts after a week's work, 40 hours. Here's how that compares to Muni, which says their drivers get OT after 8 hours of work. AC Transit says another change in the contract is health benefits. Under the old contract, the agency paid 100% of employees' premiums, and there was no copay. Under the new contract, they pay 90% of premiums, and there's a $10 copay for doctor's visits. The VTA pays 95% of premiums, according to a recent survey. I'm Christine Conley, KRON 4 News.